Nigeria, with a population of over 175 million, is the most populous nation in Africa and the 7th most populous in the world. The population of Nigeria is to reach approximately 200 million by 2019 and over 400 million by 2050, according to World Bank estimates, making Nigeria one of the top 5 populous countries in the world. Depending on how Nigeria develops, that huge increase in population will either be an asset or liability. For decades, we have portrayed our country in colorful terms, promoting our culture, music, happiness, and wonderful locations to the world.
Nigeria and the Nigerian people love wonderful and great things. You will find our exuberance as a people and our culture and tradition does portray our knack, our desire for great things, for good things.
Out of every black person you see anywhere in the world is a Nigerian. And once you say a Nigerian, it has its own outstanding qualities. Because we come from an environment already where you need to work so hard, you need to struggle, you need to do anything you can, provided you are doing the right thing to survive.
I don't think we have 5 of this kind of a country in the world where people just wake up, they want to do things and they just go for it.
We touted our country as the largest and most important country in Africa, the giant of Africa.
Nigeria has been defined as a giant of Africa. Nigeria is a nation that is so much endowed with resources, human and physical.
Nigeria is a land full of opportunities. It is enormously rich in resources. It has an enormous agriculture potential. It has a huge population.
With all these natural and human assets, many Nigerians wonder why our country today is still bedeviled by the challenges of development.
Nigeria is a great country, and Nigeria is a country that has the potential to be an even greater country, especially leading the African continent as a nation. We have everything that it takes. We have just not taken the time to get disciplined and do what it is that is going to make us the giants that we are as a nation.
The Nigerian Economic Summit last year looked at the tough decisions that Nigeria needs to make if it's serious about turning around the fortunes of the country. As a follow-up, this year's theme is Made in Nigeria, is one that will look at how we can immediately start to diversify our economy and what we need to do.
If we don't produce ourselves and patronize ourselves, we'll forever be dependent on finished products. And one part of the government cannot say, we want to encourage local content, local this, while some other parts will now say that they don't have capacity.
If we don't have a private sector-driven economy, we really can't have the kind of growth and the speed of growth that we require. So the government must, as a matter of policy, say, what can we do, must we do, should we do to ensure that the private sector really succeeds?
That is not as difficult as it seems. It's about paying attention to details, getting the little things, big things, and the long-term things, to think about them all together, and then to stick to the plan.
I honestly would urge Let us do these plans. Let us not attach them to names. Let everybody be committed to them. And let the competition between parties be who can implement it better.
This country can move well in 6-9 months' time if writing is done. Government should implement what is there already as a policy, which is use what you have.
Key to how we revive our economy will be Nigeria's agricultural sector and repositioning it as the mainstay of our national economy.
If you want to be a world competitive economy, it is about the people. And that means you need to invest on a world-class level in your education.
Let's go back a little. When the civilian administration of President Obasanjo came into limelight in 1999 and ushered in democracy, it seemed that Nigeria was poised to deliver the dividends that its citizens had been waiting for. The hope for a better Nigeria.
The most crucial role in the development of a nation is the role played by government. It is government that sets and defines and develops the policy. It is government that in the end decides where to allocate the resources. It is government that at a certain moment is responsible for consistency in policies, and that is something very important for people that are doing business.
Some Nigerians are forging ahead, and there are sectors in our economy that are working, growing, and taking on the challenge of being made in Nigeria products and services.
Nigeria, we have everything, only that we haven't tapped them. But with this situation of foreign exchange, everybody will go down. Like me, I myself now, I'm thinking what to do to export. And I believe with the way it's in my mind, in the next few months, I must get something from Nigeria to export.
That the e-commerce sector has been growing for many years is obvious, with companies like Flyboku, Wakanow, Jumia, Konga, and payment platforms like InterSwitch and Remita.
Science and technology is not just the way of the future, that future is now. The reality is we've over-depended on a very commodity-based economy, whether you even talk about agriculture, which we'll focus on today now as an alternative to crude oil. You know, this whole idea of what we're talking about, made in Nigeria, is not just about, yeah, we are great people, fashion, music, made in Nigeria, but made in Nigeria for me is more about the environment. How can we make the environment conducive for entrepreneurs and innovators to innovate and create value?
It is important that the enabling environment to actually do business is improved. Running a business in Nigeria is tough. You have businesses having to provide their own power. It's difficult to access resources. Labor is also difficult in some sectors. So I think a combination of fiscal incentives and also creating the right enabling environment would support this goal of Made in Nigeria.
Our creative industries, film, fashion, and music are creating many jobs and opportunities for Nigerians in Nigeria and across the world, including the many cottage industries servicing that sector, which have the potential for turning around the fortunes of many Nigerians.
Another opportunity clearly is the entertainment industry. Fast growing, lots of potential, has brought in so many people and has given Nigeria a new lease of life in terms of the image. So when you say you're a fashion designer, when you say you're a software person, people are, because they now understand that this is what Nigerians are actually doing to earn a living. And it's bringing the world's eyes to this place. Now, what is the policy that we need to drive to encourage people, give careers, and ensure that people are trained to live off this craft?
I've actually benefited, from state government, and this is because they see value in what I do. You know, it is not difficult to convince them. It is purely, okay, this is an entrepreneur, he resides and functions in Lagos, he's adding value, to what we do, and they are collecting tax from me, so it's like putting my money back in the system.
The telecommunication sector continues to grow, and its capacity for generating offshoots, such as value-added services, VAS, music streaming, app development, and content services, are creating new vistas of opportunity for many young people in the country. Charles Ugu is the CEO of Ebony Agro Farms in Abakaliki, who has made a success of packaging and selling local rice to the Nigerian community. He built up his business from scratch through self-help and providing his own infrastructure.
Nigeria is a virgin territory, as you can see. Everything you produce, you can sell in this country. The key thing is to drive the investments, to focus on some areas, drive those investments, whether it is in food supply, whether it is infrastructural development, whether it is domestic household products. In every sphere you look at, there's a demand. But it is now necessary for Nigeria to begin to produce those goods that we import at the moment. That is part of it. There's a demand for products, there's a demand for services. So the key thing, therefore, is to make the investments. The investments you make then drive employment, drive growth, and drive economic prosperity.
The problem we're having in Nigeria today is just policy problems, policy and implementation. If you wake up today now, they tell you the policies are there. Are we implementing it? No. So by the time until we begin to process what we produce, that's when agriculture will be a solution to our problem.
Ibukun Awoshika is one of Nigeria's foremost businesswomen. She reflects on some of her experiences in producing made in Nigeria products.
I've been producing furniture for 28 years. As far as I know, by Nigerian regulation today, since 2004, furniture has been banned in Nigeria. The question you need to ask yourself is, where is it in Nigeria that you cannot, where in Nigeria can you not find imported furniture? But from day one, I don't think there's a day from when we follow that instruction out of faith. But till tomorrow, there's furniture everywhere. The sad part is this, you're manufacturing out of commitment to a nation. But who is committed to you?
Star Paper Mills in Aba has been shut down due to challenges that have for now become insurmountable. The chief executive talks about some of these challenges.
There are a lot of complex situations and circumstances that have made businesses more difficult to deal with. Of course, at the time, you didn't have the issues of power. Power was available. In fact, some of the mills we were establishing at the time, there were more excessive power availability to run capacities at the time than of course, what it is now, where there is almost zero availability. What has been the greatest challenge is government policy, inconsistency of government policy. Because that's a major branch, a major route that can now diverse into various other areas of challenges.
In Nigeria, power certainly is a major enabler. Without power, it's going to be impossible. Or if the power is inefficient, it's like an extra cost or burden to a business. Now, for you to become competitive, those things are given.
Made in Nigeria entrepreneurs share similar challenges and success across the country. In Yola, Mohammed Abubakar manufactures bottled water and fruit juice.
Nigeria is, from a business perspective, it's a very tough terrain to operate in. It's extremely tough. You have to, deal with so many inefficiencies. We still lack so much in the country. There's still so much to be done, and the oil, it's basically made us very complacent, really. We haven't been able to tap and harness into other potentials in the economy.
With these entrepreneurs who continue to face challenges and take them on, we could learn a few things. But where there are successes, there are also challenges. Florence Sereki has been manufacturing computers and IT equipment in Nigeria for decades.
The first step is to make up our mind if we want to be producers of finished products, or if we want to be consumers of finished products. If the government can sincerely answer that question, the next step is, who are those on local content? The policies we did for them. Today they will say they enhance local content policy. Tomorrow it will be removed. Meanwhile, what do we need to do? Quality assurances has to be put in place. We are buying raw materials from the same place HP is buying from. HP is borrowing at 2-3%. We are not borrowing at 2-3%. We're borrowing locally. And even the offshore borrowing we're doing, the local banks helping us did not understand it.
As the Nigerian story continues to evolve, we need to ask ourselves serious questions. A critical factor to enabling made in Nigeria products and services is also the mindset of Nigerians towards locally produced goods and the need to support local manufacturers and companies.
Government needs to do is to encourage manufacturers. The government is trying now. A lot of funds are being made available for people to access. One of the greatest problems we have before, we don't have a long time fund for investment. The way government is going now, I believe that within a short time, things will change for better.
Towards this end, government must stop paying lip service to supporting local content and actually ensure that it has a policy of local procurement of products and services throughout all organizations of government. One believes that this summit will be one of the most important in more than a decade. Following from last year's summit, which identified that we need to make tough decisions. This year, we know the road ahead is made in Nigeria.